Welcome back to Reading for Idiots, the channel where we treat any combination of words on a page as though they are a gossip column with a questionable moral center. A journalist friend of mine recommended today's book to me, and in my ignorant old mind, I sort of categorized it as a stale and crusty Victorian Jane Austen type book. Obviously, I've not read any Jane Austen. It's a book by a guy with a girl's name, not that there's anything wrong with that. And I thought that the British establishment just adored and venerated this guy because of, well, colonialism and empire, really. Ooh, really expressing my prejudices here today, aren't I? So this friend told me this is her favorite book. I was like, okay, sure. And then she told me it's a book about journalism, and I just rolled my eyes. But man, did I eat my words or what? Scoop by Evelyn Waugh is hilarious. And I mean grandfather of all British comedy hilarious. I'm talking Monty Python, Yes Minister, Blackadder, Peep Show, The Office, hell, even Succession. I'm talking Armando Iannucci, Phoebe Waller-Bridge. They are all... I'll just make a separate video on the influence Evelyn Waugh has had on British comedy. Scoop is not just snort in public hilarious either. In this day and age where there's just so much clickbait, there's just rage bait, and there's so much questionable shit that gets classified as journalism, where something as simple as the truth gets mired in just so much chaos, Scoop is crucially more relevant than ever. So yeah, obviously, this is my no spoiler review of Scoop by Evelyn Waugh.
Like, share, subscribe.
Okay, so the plot setup. Imagine you are a quiet and shy nature columnist. You just love writing about flowers and badgers and damp soil. Your best friend is the nanny that raised you, and you're just living that chill, landed gentry life among the rolling hills of the great British countryside. Then one day, in a Veep-style bureaucratic omnishambles, you, the quiet, retiring, nature-loving type, get sent to cover a civil war in Africa. Literally a war in Africa. That's our protagonist. Our protagonist just gets thrust into this madcap world of foreign correspondents with all of their ego and competitiveness and backstabbing and lying and fake news.
Fake news, let's go.
Literally, these foreign correspondents are just plainly making shit up as though it were nothing. And in many ways, the 1930s, when Scoop was set, is kind of like the heyday of journalism. You're in that interwar period. They're the spitting embers of colonialism. There's mass production, there's mass printing, there's massive wealth inequality, and crucially, huge information disparity. They didn't have the internet. Information was gatekept. And the gatekeepers of this information, the shady dealers in their trench coats in dark car parks of this information, whether the information is true or not, were these massive news conglomerates and their hordes of journalists with their unearned swagger. And at the top of this shit pile, the undigested piece of sweet corn, were the brave and intrepid foreign correspondents, among whom our milk-toothed protagonist is thrust. And it is through our protagonist's innocent and naive eyes that we see how the mechanics of this madcap and clusterfuck of a world operates. And it's written with such pinpoint precision and deadpan absurdity that you're literally going to be checking the publication date of the book and be like, what? 1938?
Say what?
Because while the setting might be quite old school, interwar colonial period, the critique, the media critique is timeless and disturbingly relevant. As I mentioned at the top of this video, I had a lot of ideas what this book would be like and who the author was, which, you'd be forgiven for fairly calling prejudice. So it took me a while to adjust to the tone and the style of Evelyn Waugh's Scoop. I just was not expecting such a funny book. Waugh's writing is so dry and wry and deadpan and deeply satirical. He doesn't write jokes, okay? There's no like badum-tsh kind of thing. He constructs these ridiculous situations by layering action upon seemingly reasonable action. And he just lets the characters play it out completely straight-faced. And the result is this absurd take on reality. Absurd and riotous. So imagine that kind of tone paired with a style that is very economical. I mean, very economical. The sentences are short. The pacing is fast. You have got to keep up, okay? It is so tight. Every line either moves the plot forward, there's no flab, either moves the plot forward or lands a punch. It is genuinely remarkable. And it's like a machine gun, right? And like, obviously, it mocks journalism, but it also takes aim at that, at colonialism and the very British flavor of bureaucracy. And what I also did not expect was how it took on the public's appetite for drama. And the plot is a 1 in a million series of events that's instigated by confusion, incompetence, bureaucracy, apathy. And yeah, it's exaggerated, but also it's completely believable. The world is so well constructed, but you just can't say it out loud. Like, imagine if you were trying to sum up what happened in an episode of a sitcom out loud. It's ridiculous, but while you're reading it or watching it, it's totally believable, right? The wrong man is sent to a possibly fake African country to report on a possibly fake civil war. No one knows what the hell is happening politically there, right? Not least the people who are sent there to report on it, who are just making shit up because of their ego and their hubris, and they gotta report to their overlords in London. The people in London, sure as hell, don't know what the fuck is happening in this possibly fake African country. And people on the ground in this possibly fake African country reporting on this possibly fake civil war, they all know that I know you're making shit up. I know you're making shit up. And the people in London know that the guy from the other paper, he couldn't possibly get that information. How could he get that information? So they're all complicit and no one seems to give a damn. You see what I mean? If you say it out loud, it's just preposterous. And there are characters like, the pompous but dumbest person in the room, Lord something something, who is the newspaper magnate. And we have correspondents, foreign correspondents who are being blackballed by the local authorities. So they have no information and they are essentially just chasing their tails around and around in circles, but they're still feeding the pompous Lord something something information that
Ridiculous bullshit.
And they're behaving like they are the true experts. Isn't that horrifying? Like, horrifyingly familiar. And did I mention, these foreign correspondents all drink heroically. Like a heavy drinking day for me, which will probably take me, because of my age, 2 days to recover, is just a Tuesday for them. And still, our naive, green, mollycoddled hero he just bumbles his way through this gauntlet in a way that, I don't know, it somehow passes for competence. So why do I say that Scoop by Evelyn Waugh is more relevant than ever? I mean, I painted a picture just now, but yes, it is written in that very British comedic style that mixes absurdity with absolute sincerity. But beyond the satire, there is very valid and quite powerful social criticism. Look, I don't want to become political or activisty, so I'll just stick to the way Evelyn Waugh portrays journalism, media, that whole world in Scoop. I just want to add that Evelyn Waugh himself was a journalist before he became a novelist full-time. In fact, he was actually a foreign correspondent. So in Scoop, these foreign correspondents, they would literally make up a headline that they think will sell before gathering the facts. So remember, they're being blackballed by the local political people, right? So they can't get any information. But then they would see something innocuous and inspiration would strike, okay? And they would then begin to interpret reality in a way that suits their narrative so they can write the story. So one of these foreign correspondents could just be walking down the road one day and, across the road, there's a police officer just doing his patrol. On his side of the street, there might be a stray dog and maybe like a mother crouching down, wiping ketchup off her toddler's face. And the headline would be, "Local junta instructs law enforcement not to intervene as rabid hounds infest the city and target toddlers. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, utter chaos, exclamation mark." And back in London, the editors are literally brainstorming headlines, throwing out the ones that are politically inconvenient for their Lord something something, and choosing the ones that they think Lord something something would like, and then they instruct their beat reporters to go find that story. Right? And then when it comes to credit, if it's a good story, they all crawl all over each other trying to be that piece of undigested corn at the top of the shit pile. And if it's a bad story, they cannibalize each other and they play politics, and the one that loses gets it heaped on them, or they just end up getting fired. Familiar? So naturally, there's a lot of he said, she said.
No, I didn't say that. Well, actually, what I said was I thought that they said that.
Seriously. Lying and miscommunication, it really doesn't do it justice. This is a lot more malicious and self-interested than that, and a lot more realistic. So what is it that consequently suffers the most? What is it that just gets thrown out of the window and no one seems to care about it? The truth, the reality that Evelyn Waugh portrays in Scoop is one where if the story sells, the truth is optional. And doesn't that just sound disturbingly familiar? So who is this guy who wrote a novel in 1938 seemingly about a world set in 2025? Arthur Evelyn St. John Waugh is widely considered one of the greatest British prose stylists of the 20th century. He was born in 1903 in London and died in Somerset in 1966. He read history at Oxford, but unfortunately he didn't graduate with honors on account of his partying, but that probably would not have affected him that much anyway because of his social class. Kind of still the same today, isn't it? He was first an art teacher, wannabe kind of painter until the 1920s, late 1920s, when he became a journalist and book reviewer for the Daily Express and the Daily Mail until 1935, when he was sent over as a foreign correspondent to cover the Second Italo-Ethiopian War. Evelyn was known to be openly elitist. He was anti-modernist. He was politically conservative and just generally a social snob who converted to Catholicism in 1930. He served in the British Army during World War II to varying degrees of competence, shall we say. That being said, Evelyn Waugh's influence is huge. You can see his fingerprints everywhere. You just have to turn on the TV or open a book. And like I think I said earlier, at some point I'm going to do a video on his influence on our culture today. His other notable works include Decline and Fall, published in 1928, about the British education system and its class hypocrisy. The 1930 published Vile Bodies, which centers on the bright young things of London in the 1920s. And of course, Brideshead Revisited, published in 1945. All right, we are done for today. If you take anything away about Scoop by Evelyn Waugh, take away that it is a tightly written, fast-paced, riotous book that is fun and funny as hell. It's strangely emotional too. I guess all great books are. I didn't really touch on it on the video. And finally, it is just great British satire that is more relevant today than ever. If you're into the fast-talking, dense word soup of like Veep or The Thick of It, or you just enjoy satire like Don't Look Up or Succession, you have got to read Scoop by Evelyn Waugh. It is basically Jeeves and Wooster, but set in a civil war with donkeys and diplomats. If you haven't already, go pick it up. Either way, cause a shitstorm in the comments down below, like, sub, share, etc. And remember, in a world where everything is breaking news and all the systems supporting society seem to be broken, the only thing we can do is laugh.
Like, share, subscribe.